Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about fractions, decimals, and percents. We are going to convert percents to decimals, decimals to percents, percents to fractions, fractions to percents, decimals to fractions, and fractions to decimals. First we are going to start out with converting percents to decimals. Number 1. 32%. You are first going to drop the percent sign and then divide by 100, which means move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So you're going to write down 32 without the percent sign. You're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Now the decimal point is in front of the 3. So 32% is equal to 32 hundredths. Number 2. We have 6%. We are going to drop the percent sign and move the decimal point over 2 places to the left. 1, 2. We are going to fill in this empty loop with a 0. So 6% is equal to 6 hundredths as a decimal. Now we are going to convert decimals to percents. Number 1, we have 47 hundredths. We are going to multiply by 100, which means we are going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right this time. So we are going to take that decimal point and move it 2 places to the right. So now the decimal point is at the end of 7. So 47 hundredths is equal to 47%. Number 2, we have 5/10. We are going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. 1, 2. We are going to fill in that empty loop with a 0. So 5/10 is equal to 50%. Now we are going to convert from percents to fractions. Number 1, 15% is equal to 15 over 100 because percents are out of 100. So you need a denominator of 100 because percents are out of 100. So you are going to drop that percent sign, and that 15 is going to be your numerator, and again 100 is going to be your denominator because percents are out of 100. Then you're going to simplify that fraction. So 5 is the greatest common factor of 15 and 100. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 15% is equal to 3/20 as a fraction. Number 2, we have 90%. So again, we are going to drop that percent sign. 90 becomes our numerator. 100 is our denominator because percents are out of 100. We are going to simplify our fraction. Greatest common factor of 90 and 100 is 10. So 90 divided by 10 is 9. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So 90% is equal to 9/10 as a fraction. Now we are going to convert fractions to percents. You want to get a denominator of 100. That is very important. You want to get a denominator of 100. So let's take a look at number 1. We have 3/10. So we ask ourselves, with that denominator, is there any number times 10 that will give us a denominator of 100? And there is. 10 times 10 gives us 100. So what we do to the denominator, we also have to do to the numerator. So 3 times 10 is 30. Well, since our denominator is 100, that means we are going to take the number in the numerator, which is 30, and add a percent sign. So 3/10 is equal to 30%. Number 2, 2/5. Again, we ask ourselves, what number times 5 will give us 100? Because we are trying to make a percent, and percents are out of 100, so we need a denominator of 100. So 5 times 20 gives us 100, and what we do to the denominator, we also have to do to the numerator, so 2 times 20 is 40. So we have 40 100ths. So we are going to take the number that's in the numerator and add a percent sign. 2/5 is equal to 40%. Number 3 is a little bit different. 5/8. We know we need a denominator of 100, but there isn't a number that we could multiply by 8 that would give us 100. So if that's the case, then you need to divide. So numerator is king or queen. It goes inside the castle. 8's on the outside. 8 goes into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. You subtract, you get a remainder of 2. You're going to bring down a 0. So now your new number is 20. 8 times 2 gives you 16. That's close to 20. You subtract, you get 4. Add another 0, bring it down. Now your new number is 40. 8 goes into 45 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, you get a remainder of 0, which we want. So now that we have a decimal, we have 625 thousandths, we are going to multiply that decimal by 100. And when you multiply a decimal by 100, we've learned previously that we are going to take the decimal point and move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. So 625 thousandths is equal to 62 5/10%. So 5/8 is equal to 62 5/10%. Now we are going to convert decimals to fractions. Number 1, 6/10. You are going to write that fraction the way you read that decimal. So we read this decimal as 6/10. So we are going to write 6/10, 6/10. Then you're going to simplify and ask yourself, what can we divide both 6 and 10 by? And that would be 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 6/10 is equal to 3/5 as a fraction. Number 2, we have 800. So again, we are going to write the fraction the way we read that decimal. So 800, we are going to put 8 over 100. We are going to divide by 4, so 8 divided by 4 is 2. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So 800 as a decimal is equal to 2/25 as a fraction. Number 3, we have 9 35 hundredths. So again, we are going to write that fraction the way we read it. So 9 is our whole number, and 35 hundredths, we are going to put 35 over 100. Now we're going to simplify. Greatest common factor of 35 and 100 is 5. So 35 divided by 5 is 7, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 9 35 hundredths is equal to 9 7/20 as a fraction. Number 4, we have 1 29 hundredths. So we are going to write that, 1 being the whole number and 29 over 100, 29 hundredths. The greatest common factor of 29 and 100 is 1, so that means that is in simplest form. So 1 29 hundredths is equal to 1 29 over 100. Next, we are going to convert fractions to decimals. Number 1, 5/8. Numerator is king or queen. It goes inside the castle because we are going to divide. 8 does not go into 5, so we put a 0. Then we are going to put a decimal point and add a 0. So 8 does go into 50 6 times, so 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract, you get a 2. Add another 0, bring that down. Our new number is 20. 8 times 2 gives us 16. That's close to 20. Subtract, you get 4. Add another 0, bring it down, so our new number is 40. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 minus 40 is 0. So 5/8 as a decimal is 625 thousandths. Number 2, 3 7/8. We are going to divide 7/8. Numerator is king or queen. It goes inside the castle. 8 is on the outside. 8 does not go into 0, so we add a decimal point, 0. 8 does go into 70 8 times. So 8 times 8 is 64. 70 minus 64 is 6. Add another 0, bring it down. So now our new number is 60. 8 times 7 gives us close to 60, which is 56. 60 minus 56 is 40. Add another 0, bring it down. So that would be 40. 8 times 5 gives us 40. Subtract, you get a remainder of 0. And we still, remember, you still have the 3 as a whole number, so that needs to go in front of the decimal point. So 3 7/8 is equal to 3 875 thousandths. Number 3, 5 2/5. Again, we have to divide our fraction. So numerator is king or queen. It goes inside the castle. 5 is on the outside. 5 does not go into 2, so we add a decimal point and a 0. So 5 does go into 20 4 times. And again, bring that decimal point up into the quotient. So 5 times 4 does give you exactly 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So 5 2/5 is equal to 5 4/10. Number 4, 6 4/5. Again, we have to divide. So 4 is our numerator, goes inside the castle. 5 is on the outside. 5 does not go into 4, so we have to add a decimal point, add a 0. So now our new number is 40. Bring that decimal point up into the quotient. 5 times 8 gives us exactly 40. 40 minus 40 is 0. So 6 4/5 is equal to 6 8/10.